Caseus, Jedi Apprentice. Chapter 8. Caseus, Sarah, and Corbyn looked around at the run-down streets of level 1313. Everything they had been told was correct. Not that the upper levels of Coruscant were completely safe, but the energy this place gave off was something different. Immediately they could tell Jedi presence was not welcome here. If they were to accomplish their mission, they would need to keep an extremely low profile. Corbyn stood behind Caseus.
So, what's the plan, Caseus?
First things first. We look around for any large groups. Cantinas, shops, anywhere where people are likely to chat. Listen in on conversations. Be inconspicuous and don't strike up conversation unless you're absolutely sure you have a lead.
Right. Where should we head first?
There's a food court over there on our left. Stay close but don't group together. It'll look too suspicious. Listen around for anything regarding Trandoshans or Dioxys, and remember, no lightsabers. If people find out we're Jedi, we're in trouble. Sarah and Corbyn nodded in agreement. Okay, let's go. Keep your hoods up. The Padawans moved quietly into the incoming crowd of citizens, blending in amongst gatherings of travelers, smugglers, and bounty hunters as they made their way to the nearby food court. The smell was not entirely pleasant. Whatever was being cooked, it was obviously not fresh. Caseus moved past the service station and sat at a dirty table, obviously not cleaned in quite some time. He kept an eye on Sarah and Corbyn. Sarah leaned against the wall, keeping her ears open for any chatter of Trandoshans. Corbyn, meanwhile, took a seat on a nearby bench, sitting as casually as he could.
Have you ordered yet, buddy?
Caseus looked up and saw a pudgy Toydarian wearing a stained apron hovering at the end of the table. No, I'm not exactly hungry.
Paying customers only at the tables. Either order something or beat it.
Caseus looked through his belt pouch where he kept his provisions. The masters at the temple issued him a number of credits for emergencies, though not enough to cover speeder parking in underground slums. 12 credits. Caseus handed over his credits. Okay, just get me whatever today's special is. The Toydarian took the credits in his gnarled fingers and put them in a pouch on his belt before heading to the kitchen. Caseus looked around. There were so many different species from all over the galaxy. Some speaking languages he only half understood, and others he didn't understand at all. Sarah stood against the wall, keeping her eyes peeled and her ears open.
Chut.
Sarah looked around and felt a tugging on her robes, seeing a short, pudgy man with blue skin and a tusk coming out of his mouth, holding up a cup and shaking it.
Opa Murira.
I'm sorry?
A tall Duros in a dirty hat and black trench coat walked behind the small, strange man.
He's asking if you could help him and spare some money.
Oh, I don't know.
Opa Patisa. Dobra que fundo.
He's very hungry and needs to eat.
Well, maybe you can help me. Then I can help you.
Hako Chubanaga.
What do you want?
Do you know anything about Trandoshans around here?
Trandosha Azalus. Porkman Slimo.
He says that Trandoshans are dangerous. Big-time slime balls. What reason would you have for wanting to find any Trandoshans?
That's none of your concern. If someone wanted to find Trandoshans here, where would they look?
The small man talked quickly to his friend who nodded and turned back.
Belkman's Cantina, a few blocks down, would be your best option. If you don't find them, you'll most likely find someone who knows of them.
Thank you. Come with me.
Hesitantly, the two aliens followed Sarah over to Caseus, who was looking at what he could only assume was something that was once considered food.
Hey, do you have any credits?
No, I had to use them to buy whatever Dianoga Delight is. The small alien looked with wide eyes at the dish, licking his cracked blue lips.
Kikiuna kuna tapanwada.
Caseus looked at his dish and slid it towards him. Enjoy it. I won't. The little man started digging happily into the dish with his hands, pulling out what looked like a hairy tentacle, and slurped it down with a loud gulp. I think I'm gonna be sick. Let's go. Caseus and Sarah went over to Corbyn, who had been having no luck in his spot. Come on, we might have a lead.
Good. I hate this place.
Caseus looked at his chronometer. We should be quick. We've been here an hour already. Where are we headed to?
Belkman's Cantina. Those two said it was a few blocks ahead.
Okay, let's go.
How do you suppose we get in exactly? We're not old enough.
Look, we snuck out of the temple. Sneaking into a cantina shouldn't be a problem.
I hope you're right.
They began walking, looking for any possible sign or lead to Belkman's Cantina. After 20 minutes of walking through the slums and dark alleys not even a Jedi would want to go down, they saw it. A big sign on top of a relatively small building. Belkman's.
This must be it.
They entered the line to the cantina, seeing a door guard out front. Soon, they were right in front of him.
No underage patrons. Beat it.
Caseus subtly waved his hand beneath his robe, keeping eye contact. It's okay that we're here. We can go inside. The door guard's gaze seemed to shake and waver as he looked at Caseus and smiled slightly.
It's okay that you're here. You can go inside.
The three Padawans stepped through the gate and went inside. It was surprisingly noisy. Tobacco smoke filled the air, and drunken aliens of different species were drinking and laughing at the bar, occasionally spilling their beverages on each other. Let's split up. We don't want to attract attention here. See what you can find out.
Right.
The Jedi split from each other as Caseus walked over to a corner booth, sitting quietly in the shadows.
You're in my seat.
Caseus turned to his right and saw a very disgruntled Weequay holding a large drink. I didn't see anyone's name on it.
What did you say to me, Slimo?
Caseus could see his aggressor placing a hand on his blaster. You really want to risk trouble over a seat?
You really want to risk being plugged full of lasers?
Caseus could see another alien walking over as he subtly reached for his lightsaber. So much for keeping a low profile.
Come on, Squall. Back off. If you wanted to keep your seat, you shouldn't have gone back for another drink.
The Weequay growled and quickly chugged his drink before returning to the bar to grab another. The other alien sat across from Caseus. He was a Rhodian.
My apologies. My friend can get a little testy when he's been drinking.
I can tell. Thanks.
Haven't seen you around here. You new to the area?
No. I'm just visiting.
Visiting, eh? Well, how about a Jawa juice on me?
Sure. Thanks. The Rhodian motioned a service droid over with 2 glasses and gave one to Caseus.
The name's Rondo. And you?
Caseus thought of a name he could use. He didn't want to give away his identity in a place like this. Urshan.
Urshan. You seem a bit young. What brings you to Belkman's Cantina?
I'm looking for someone. That's all I can really say.
Looking for someone? You a bounty hunter?
No. Someone down here is responsible for something terrible. I want to find them. Rondo sipped his drink with a loud pop from his lips.
Lots of people down here have done terrible things. You might want to be a little more specific.
Why so interested in my business?
Well, it must be pretty important business if a Jedi's in these parts.
Caseus nearly choked on his drink, the harsh alcohol burning his throat as he looked at Rondo.
That's right. Don't think I didn't notice your laser sword, young one. And if someone like myself noticed, I guarantee I'm not the only one. Now, let's try this again. Who are you looking for? Did the council send you to spy on me?
Caseus kept his hands on the table, not wanting to draw any more attention than he already had. I'm not here looking for you or your men. I'm not supposed to be down here at all. I'm looking for Trandoshans.
Trandoshans are a very dangerous breed. You must have a death wish if you're trying to hunt the hunters.
I'm not hunting anyone. I have it on good authority that these Trandoshans have a compound down here. I want to find it and report back to the council.
So, you're not looking for me?
No. I just want to put an end to the attacks on my fellow Jedi. So, now you know. And you have two options. Either let me go, or shoot me. You're not the only observant one here. I see your blaster under the table. Rondo stroked his chin and looked sternly at Caseus before holstering his blaster.
I don't like to dirty my hands if I don't have to.
Rondo finished his drink and looked at Caseus, leaning in close.
Some of my men have been hunted by these Trandoshans for sport. They're crafty, and above all else, ruthless. I can tell you where to find them. In exchange, you see to it that those scum are dealt with.
Where can I find them? Rondo entered a few coordinates into a data chip and slid it over to Caseus.
Follow the map. Stay out of sight. If you die, don't expect it to be quick. If you don't hold up your end of the bargain, I'll make you beg for death.
Understood. With those kind parting words, Rondo stood and walked away as Caseus looked around for Sarah and Corbyn, finding them speaking to each other by a Deseric table. Come on, I have the intel. The two of them agreed, and they left the bar following Caseus.
So, we head back now, right?
Not yet. We need to verify the information.
Verify? You mean we have to go investigate?
Yes, if we aren't 100% sure this was all for nothing.
Caseus, are you sure this is a good idea?
Absolutely not. But we've come too far to go back. If you don't want to come with, you can go back to the speeder. Sarah and Corbyn looked at each other.
We're with you.
It's not too far from here. It's 2.5 blocks down. Hidden from street level. Looks like it's underground.
Wonderful. Well, let's go.
Caseus, Sarah, and Corbyn walked down the dimly lit streets, following the coordinates left on the data chip. The route led them past several run-down abandoned shops and buildings, until they reached an alleyway stretching far into the darkness. Be on guard. Caseus looked around, keeping an eye out for danger. Soon they reached the coordinates. There was nothing. Just a dead-end alley.
Caseus, I don't like the look of this.
There has to be something here. The chip says it's underground. Look for some sort of entrance or door. The Jedi looked all over the floor and the walls until they noticed something out of place. Graffiti on the ground. Caseus inspected the paint and surveyed the nearby area with his hands. Then he saw something. It was an old dumpster. That's it. That's our entrance.
A dumpster?
Caseus walked over and opened the lid. There was no garbage inside. There was only a set of stairs.
Caseus, I think this is enough. We need to head back.
Not until we have proof. We have to do this. For Master Suka, Master Takai, and every Jedi who fell to these monsters. Corbyn sighed in worry and followed Sarah and Caseus down the stairs. It was dark, but they couldn't risk any light. Softly and slowly, they crept lower and lower into the depths of the lair. After what seemed like an eternity, they were walking on flat ground. Up ahead, they could see faint light creeping from underneath a door. Cautiously, they moved closer and closer, until they were right outside the door. Very quietly, Caseus reached for the door and gently opened it. It was an underground warehouse, storing hundreds of large crates in every direction. A few were left open in plain sight. Corbyn looked inside one of them, and his face went pale.
Dioxis.
Caseus and Sarah looked into the crate. There was enough dioxis in this one crate to flood the entire temple with poison.
This is serious. We need to go back and tell Dravok.
Suddenly, they heard a door open from the other room, and voices. Raspy, distinct voices. Trandoshans! Quick, get on top of the shelves! The Padawans leapt up to the top shelves of the warehouse and hid behind the crates, peeking out at the door. 3 Trandoshans entered, one of them carrying a box.
Tell me this is the last run we make. I want to get on with this so we can collect our pay. Quiet. You'll do as you're told. Now get to work. The boss was crystal clear. He wants this rigged and ready to go yesterday.
The Trandoshan with the box opened it, pulling out what looked to be very advanced tech.
These charges are state-of-the-art. No amount of Jedi tinkering will...
He began sniffing the air with his reptilian nostrils.
What is it? What do you smell, Grish? I'm not sure. Something's been in here. Gutter vermin, most likely. The streets are full of them. Enough talk. Back to work.
The Trandoshan hissed and began working on the bomb.
What do we do?
We need to get out of here. I see an air shaft nearby. We can sneak out through there and contact the temple. The three Jedi slowly began to creep across the top shelves, softly stepping to avoid making a sound, when Grish stopped and began sniffing the air again.
Krosh, do you smell that? You and your smells. I told you it's just... Wait. I smell it too.
Grish and Krosh immediately drew their rifles and pointed them around.
Come on out, little thieves. Don't be shy.
Caseus and the others stayed absolutely silent.
Tosa, check the shelves.
The third Trandoshan began to climb the shelves as Caseus, Sarah, and Corbyn stayed silent, not daring to move a muscle, gripping their weapons tightly as Tosa began scaling the shelves like a spider, moving closer and closer. Soon, he was right beside them. Nothing but a single crate between them. He sniffed the air and began to peer over the crates when the main door opened and a voice called out.
What's going on in here?
All three Trandoshans quickly gathered to the floor, standing in line.
I told you to have this ready hours ago.
Our apologies, boss. The weapon will be completed in just a few minutes.
Really?
Yes. The last attacks were small time compared to the chaos this will bring.
Is that so? Tell me, have you been taking the appropriate measures to make sure it will function properly? Unlike your last one?
But of course, nothing gets past us.
Nothing, it would seem. Except 3 intruding Jedi.
Cassie's heart skipped a beat. Suddenly, an unseen force pulled the entire shelf down as the Padawans tumbled down, crashing into the crates and hitting the floor with painful thuds. The Trandoshans surrounded them, pointing their rifles directly at them. Caseus looked up and saw a man in a black robe. He removed the hood from his face. It was Dravok.
Hello, Caseus.